Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today we have a boomerang build, which I think is pretty good, especially mastery-wise. I went through and made this just today, and I'd been prepping a King Shark one, and then I was like, oh, you know what, I'll let people vote. And I had another build kind of getting ready for Joker as well. I think I started working on one for Harley. I don't know, I don't remember. But the point is, I didn't have anything. I haven't really messed with Boomerang too much with the whole build stuff, as you can see with the stats. But after this, Boomerang might be the most powerful in the game. And it's because I didn't notice a lot of the talents that he actually has. So first off, we're going to go over the loadout. Now, our first weapon is the fully loaded bullet-propelled grenade. I was going to say you can use any weapon that is a bullet-propelled grenade, but it specifically is best with the shotgun to do this. Why? Well, there's some talents for Boomerang that just make his shotgun really, really good and really powerful with this build specifically. With this, every time you get a critical hit, you spawn a grenade, but only once every 30 seconds, okay? It also does 100% more damage. Then we have the Spine Tingler, which you're not going to be using at all, okay? This is only here to get the tier 2 infamy set bonuses, okay? Which, by the way, I have to say, the tier 2 scarecrow set is 100% the best one, okay? And I used part of it for the Joker build. I ended up switching some of that for the nuke builds off camera after that last video, and it was way more powerful because of it. But next we have the Master Two-Face Persuader. Because of the fact that we have both a Bane piece and a Scarecrow piece equipped, we do have two different villain synergies active. The Bane one gives us grenade ammo and increases grenade damage 100% when you harvest an enemy, okay? And that's for 20 seconds, which is really great. It also, with the Two-Face Scarecrow one, when you kill an enemy with a suicide strike, you have a 100% chance to trigger either Dread or Mayhem. Dread causes enemies within 20 meters of you to take 250% more damage. Mayhem causes enemies within 20 meters of you to deal 50% less damage. The one you'd want the most is more damage, but either way it is going to be helping you. But you're probably not going to be killing many enemies with suicide strikes, so that doesn't matter too much. Now, with this, you also do have every melee hit on a crazed enemy has a 50% chance to drop either a live grenade or grenade ammo at the enemy's feet, which I forgot to mention earlier. Because of the changes recently to the crazed stuff, this, hold on, go back to this. This is going to be causing a lot of enemies to get crazed, and then if you hit them again, you're going to be getting more grenade ammo, which is just another extra bonus to having the Two-Face Persuader. Next is the Shield mod, which is a tier 2 Scarecrow piece, as well as the Lucky Charm being a tier 2 Scarecrow piece. The Traversal mod is the Turtle Speed Force Conduit, or Still Force Conduit, because it just gives you 500% more damage, and that's why you're basically going to see it on every build video that I do. Even though there are some other ones that are kind of nice, like some of the specific ones, not really the Dr. Psycho one. I don't honestly think that one's that great. And I just want to say, you have to get this in the Finite Crisis, okay? And apparently off camera, or on camera, I don't remember. Apparently I had multiple Still Force Conduits for Boomerang, and apparently I deleted all of them, including the one that I had, because apparently I didn't have it equipped for some reason. So I had to go, for this specific video, I spent like 3 hours trying to get this, and I finally got it. Next is the Venom Bane's Rage piece for the neck bomb. Now, the reason I have this is because when you have the one piece bonus, right, you get a 50% chance to craze, which doesn't matter, and a 50% chance to drop grenade ammo on an enemy melee hit. This means that with this build, you're going to be getting a lot of grenade ammo, as well as just spawning in grenades that instantly explode because of the shotgun. But as you can see, when I hit enemies, I'm getting a lot of grenades. Also, I don't know how those guys just exploded, to be completely honest. I don't remember what I had that caused that. I originally, when I started making this, like build, I had the reverse flash focus on, okay? And the reason for that was to get 250% more damage, as well as just, you know, extra squad ultimate resources, pretty nice. But the grenades are just way better. So Plus, you also do get the extra bonus with the villain synergy over here. So that's why I have that. I mentioned this already, so we'll skip over that. With the Shaped by Terror Infamy set, which is tier 2, with just the 1 piece bonus, each poisoned enemy hit with a grenade gives you a stack of Impending Terror. Impending Terror decreases the damage you take from poisoned enemies by 10% for 60 seconds. That can stack 5 times, so 50% less damage from poison enemies. With the bonus, which is a fear bonus, by the way, what this means is that in this specific episode, you will get this bonus, but other episodes won't have this. So this will further reduce damage from poison enemies by 10% again. So that reduces your damage by 100%. It's not done like 100% total though. It's going to be 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, and then again 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. But then with the 2-piece bonus, once Impending Terror reaches 5 stacks, you trigger a stack of Embracing Terror, which increases your grenade damage by 50% for 60 seconds. Embracing Terror stacks 5 times. Killing an enemy with a grenade gives you 2 stacks of Embracing Terror, also with the fear bonus. With 3 pieces, once Embracing Terror reaches 5 stacks, you trigger Shaped by Terror, which increases the damage you deal to poisoned enemies by 500% for 60 seconds. Shaped by Terror only stacks once though. And then with the fear bonus, you also get 2 extra grenades in your bag or whatever. So you can hold up to 5 grenades with this. Okay, so I did want to mention, and I thought I would do this for more of the videos because I have seen people asking about where to get specific gear pieces. First off is the gun we're using for this build. You can get this from talking to Penguin and crafting. Just go up to him, click craft, firearms, and then go to shotguns. And you will have it at the towards the bottom right here. And it is random how many augments you get, but if you don't get 3 augments, just go and click overhaul and overhaul it. As for the other weapons, you're going to need to be in episode 1 to get all 3 of the Scarecrow ones, as well as the Polkadot Man Grenade. Then for the Two Faces Persuader, as well as the Still Force Conduit, you're going to need to go to Finite Crisis, and because those 2 are specific to each character, it is going to be a little bit harder because you are just going to have to get lucky with it being for specifically Boomerang. Now, I want to go over the augments for each of these. First off, the Amortech Shotgun Fully Loaded. Also, doesn't matter if it says fully loaded, they'll just have different names depending on like what nano enhancements they have and stuff, but it doesn't really matter, so just ignore that. I have 11% damage to grunt enemies, which also, I don't have the maximum possible stuff on all of these, but I do on some of them, but it doesn't matter if you have the max, as long as you have these specific augments, it should do pretty good. Now, 11% damage to grunt enemies with this firearm, 12% to brute with this firearm, and 30% damage to infused enemies without any specific thing. Then we have this, which I just didn't even mess with this because I don't care about any of the augments on this weapon because you're not going to be using this whatsoever. You can kind of use it to get rid of the shields, but you're going to be using the grenades to get rid of shields, so it doesn't really matter. Then we have the Two Faces Persuader. Now we have 3% Suicide Strike resource, Suicide Strike generation, 48% Suicide Strike damage, and 11% Affliction resource from melee hits. Next, with the Polkadot Man Grenade, we have 50% grenade pickup radius to just help us make sure that we are picking them up. 2% shield regenerated for each enemy hit with a grenade. You can also do the shield regeneration for each enemy killed with grenade. Then we have 30% chance to drop grenade ammo on enemies killed within 5 meters, which we are going to be close to the enemies most of the time, so a lot of stuff is relating to being very close. Then we have the shield mod, 5% Suicide Strike resource generation, 14% shield overcharge, and plus 20% shield just to help keep us alive. Then we have plus 46% grenade pickup radius, as well as almost 10% damage to brute enemies, almost 50% more damage to enemies that are within 5 meters. Once again, very close to enemies, and that's because of some of the talents, which I'm going to go over in a minute. Then we have 12% grenade damage to grunt enemies, 29% to brute enemies, and then 50% damage to electrified enemies, which I haven't mentioned before, but both the melee and the grenade have the live wire bolt equipped. I wouldn't really suggest using it for the grenade, mainly just doing it on the melee, just because I think it's just better to use the base grenade than try and afflict enemies with it. Then we have the last piece, which is the lucky charm. 10% XP, just because there wasn't another thing that I thought was really helpful. Then critical hit damage, as well as damage to electrified enemies. Alright, now next thing I want to go over is the talent tree, because there are some very important things for this build. And I want to just quickly go over the OK Boomer thing, because this does give you 75% grenade damage, as well as 50% Speedster Surprise, which is the traversal attack. But the thing is that this one gives you 60% overall damage, which isn't just for the grenades, which is a really nice thing, as well as 25% damage reduction. So even though most of the time the damage you're doing is going to be the grenades, that 25% damage reduction is really helpful on the higher difficulties, so I would still say go with Admiral Boomerang. But if you want to try and do OK Boomer, I originally had this equipped just because I think it's funny that it's called that, but I still think Admiral Boomer is actually better overall. The party supplies is very, very important for this build. Melee hits has a 50% chance to spawn grenade ammo or shield pickups, but melee cooldown is increased by 2 seconds. I would recommend equipping that. I would also recommend equipping Shotgunner, because this is going to be using your shotgun, and I'll explain why in a minute. Next is another round, which not super important, we're just going to skip that. Then we have close quarters. Shotgun kills on enemies within 10 meters have a 25% chance to spawn a live grenade. And that's why we are using the shotgun specifically, because you're going to want to have that as much as possible, okay? Then we have Stingy Shields, Last Resort, Sucker Punch, Bleeding Edge, and Trickster. That just helps to increase damage. Next, we have the High Tolerance, Suicide Strike, Admiral Boomerang, Give and Take, Hard Hide, Party Ain't Over, The Best Defense, High Gear, After Party, Admiral Boomerang, like I said earlier, Fly-In Boomerang, Hoon In It, Souped Up Combo, Bigger Surprises, Combo Breaker, Aftershock, Speedster's Sew Up, Slow-Mo Shootout, Squad Ultimate. Next thing I want to do is talk about the squad skills. Okay. Now, I would just recommend overall for any build, put as many as you can in the experience points earned thing. That just is going to help you get more squad points and be able to have more in this tree in the first place. Side of that, for this build, you're going to want grenade pickup, grenade ammo drop chance, and grenade damage. I have both of these maxed out, which is going to give me 20% more grenade damage and 10% more chance of actually getting grenade. Then we have critical hit chance, Suicide Strike damage, which I just did that so that if we can activate the one ability by killing an enemy with a Suicide Strike, that is going to help us. Then we have damage to brute enemies, because the brutes are always a issue on these high difficulties. Then we have damage at combo 50 and higher, which I just kind of threw in. Critical hit damage, as well as damage while airborne. Now, the main thing I would say is just the 2 grenade ones, but I would recommend doing the others as well. Now, I'm going to go off camera, and we're going to go in killing time. And basically, I'm going to go as far as possible. I just recorded a whole segment, and apparently my microphone wasn't on. So we're going to re-record this. Okay, so right now I'm at, like, Mastery level 80. The reason I'm showing you this and not, like, Mastery 200, which I can confirm you can at least get to 200 with this. I have done it. But the reason I'm not doing that right now is because it is 3 a.m. when I'm recording this part of the video, and I'm already late for the upload. I was supposed to upload that technically yesterday now, since it is 3 a.m. But I am probably only going to take it to 100 and then end the, like, clip, just because I don't have a lot of time and I still need to edit it, and I also need to stream today. Now, if you do want to help out the channel, leaving a like and subscribing, commenting, sharing the video, all of that stuff really, really does help. Also, obviously, donating helps, but I don't expect that. But basically, commenting, subscribing, doing any of that really helps out the channel. These videos, specifically the build ones especially, take a super, super, super long time. And when I say a super long time, I mean a super long time. Probably 9 to 10 hours just of prep work and testing out builds. Probably 6 to 8 hours of recording just because I am doing all of this in killing time. I need to actually unlock the higher mastery levels in the main missions so that I can do these types of videos easier without having to spend 3 hours in killing time, because that is just a lot of extra work that I am putting on myself by not doing that. But for now I haven't actually done that, so I need to do that. What I'm saying is any support's really appreciated, so thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna cut out until we get to like 100 and I'll show off the build then. Also, this build is heavily inspired by the Joker build that I did previously. You'll notice like the shotgun is the same kind of boom gun, and that we are using very heavily grenade stuff. And that's because grenades are kind of just the best thing you can do in the game right now. There are some pretty good melee builds I think you can do also, which I do want to get into, especially with like King Shark and Joker. Also, this video was done with a poll. We're gonna do a poll for the next build video, so if you want to partake in that poll and decide which one gets to be done next, go ahead and subscribe so that you can do that. So, quick thing which I just got reminded of is that, especially not even on this, but like once you get up to closer to 200 and at 200, you need to be extremely careful of both brutes and the snipers, because they can one-shot you. And if you see them at all on the radar or just in the map in general, you need to try and focus fire them as much as possible. So just make sure that you do that as much as you can. Of course, right now when I wasn't recording, I was playing super good. Also 27 million damage just now with that suicide strike. Now the suicide strikes are going to be really helpful on the brutes, but most of the time all of your damage is going to be from the grenades. You get an okay amount of damage sometimes from the shield harvests, but they're not gonna be your heavy hitting stuff for this. Now we're at 96 right now, and of course once I start recording I'm playing not great. But what was I gonna say? I completely forgot. Jeez, hold on. Edit this out. Alright, let's go up here and kill these guys. We're almost at 100, and then I think we're gonna just call it quits for the video, because I think that that's a good enough showcase, right? I definitely do need to get up the mastery level I have available for the main missions, because I really do need to be able to actually show off the difficulties I say you can go to with these things. But for this video, we're going to make an exception because I'm tired. But overall, I'd say this build is pretty fun also, just because there's a lot of explosions happening. And explosions are fun, okay? And I also, like, just look at how much you're just killing these enemies. Even at 98 mastery, you just can shred these guys. Also, I'm shocked because I usually don't expect Boomerang to be able to do grenade stuff. I didn't even realize that he had so many grenade things in his talent tree that make this work so well. But because of like the proximity bonus stuff, this build can work pretty freaking well. I'm also really excited to see. I want to try with episode 2. I want to try a fire build for Joker, because he has so many fire related things. And there is the Two-Face build coming, or not build, but the Two-Face gear sets coming, which have at least one of them is fire related. So I'm really excited about that. Also, is it just me, or when you get the hit squads after like let's say Mastery 80, is it just me, or do you always get the freaking ones that's just only brutes? Actually, I think I just got one that isn't only brutes. This one actually has a lot of brutes also, but I feel like a lot of the time, there's one that's really easy, at the high difficulties, that's like just the runners, and that one's so easy to get rid of them, but I feel like I 99% of the time get this one, which has the destroyers and all of the freaking snipers, which is just annoying as hell. Alright. Anyways, we're gonna end the video here. We got past 100, so You can get to 200. It is going to get hard when you get to 180-ish, I'd say, is when it gets actually really difficult, and that the time starts to actually be an issue. Right now, I'm kind of being also pretty dumb just with the selection. Also, once you get past like 80, don't bother with trying to destroy tanks and helicopters and stuff. Just leave the area and keep circling the map. They're not really useful anymore for building up the stuff because they just take way too long to kill. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say for the video. So I'm just gonna let myself die, and then why am I not? I'm trying to die here. Please let the mission be killed. Thank you. Run to portal. No, I don't even want to run to the portal. I want to die here in the other world. Also, Deadshot, what the hell was that? He was, his spine was broken there. You guys saw that, right? Will you quit reviving me? I'm trying to die. But, anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.